Okay, we're good. Sorry, just now there's like a bit of a problem, but now hopefully it's good. It's all good. Sound is good. So we're gonna restart the intro again. Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Daily Word again. So today we'll be studying Matthew 16. It's gonna be a short one. There's only 28 verses, so bear with me. I have a feeling that this one will be good. Yeah. Okay. So let's start from the top again. Oh, this is a very hot day. Okay. So chapter 16. Book of Matthew. The demand for a sign. The Pharisees and Sadducees came to Jesus and tested him by asking him to show them a sign from heaven. He replied, "When evening comes, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning today it will be stormy, for the sky is red and overcast. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs of the times. A wicked and adulterous generation looks for a sign, but none will be given it except the sign of Jonah." Jesus then left them and went away. The yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. When they went across the lake, the disciples forgot to take bread. "Be careful," Jesus said to them. "Be on your guard because the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees." They discussed this among themselves and said, "It is because we didn't bring any bread." Aware of their discussion, Jesus asked, "You of little faith, why are you talking among yourselves about having no bread? Do you still not understand? Don't you remember the 5 loaves for the 5,000 and how many basketfuls you gathered, or the 7 loaves for the 4,000 and how many basketful is you gathered? How is it you don't understand that was talking to you about bread, but be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees?" Then they understood that he was not telling them to guard against the yeast of his bread or against the teaching of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Peter declares that Jesus is the Messiah. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" They reply, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. What about you?" He asked. "Who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound on in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Then he ordered his disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. Jesus predicts his death. From that time on, Jesus began to explain to his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things at the hand of the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law, and that he must be killed and on the third day be raised to life. Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. "Never, Lord," he said, "this shall never happen to you." Jesus turned and said to Peter, "Go, get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." And Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take out their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? For the Son of Man is good within the whole world, yet forfeit their soul. Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? For the Son of Man is going to come in his Father's glory with his angels, and then he will reward each person according to what they have done. Truly I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." Amen. All right. Wow. Okay. Quite interesting chapter. I mean, all of the chapters are quite interesting. So from the first part, when you see for the demand for a sign, the Pharisees and Sadducees, for the demand for a sign, the Pharisees and Sadducees are in a past few episodes, I did mention that we are not to test God. God doesn't like to be tested. So this is like so Jesus did reply this like, "When evening comes, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning today it will be stormy, for the sky is red and overcast. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs of the times." So it's like you can interpret the appearance of Jesus, but then we cannot appearance of Jesus, but then we cannot interpret the the signs of times. Signs of times. Let's need some time to study this. A wicked adulterous generation looks for sign, but none will be given it. But except the sign of Jonah. So whenever I know like I'm guilty of that sometimes. Sometimes I feel like, please God, give me a sign if you want me to do this. Yeah. So like this I can say it directly talks to me lah. Like for example, if I am not sure about the business opportunity that I'm about to go for, I would definitely pray to God. And then I remember I did say this, like, can you give me a sign telling me that this is the way I'm to go? But then now today, after reading this, I feel like I'm actually doing wrong. I'm actually being quite wicked. Yeah. So I guess Jesus wants us to learn to not ask for signs, but I would say have faith in Jesus and in God, because God has already planned everything for you. So you just have to follow what Jesus and God is telling you, and not ask for a sign, because they're already helping you. You just have to be alert about it. Yeah. So don't have to worry about everything that happens to you, or like ask for a sign if you cannot decide which one to do, yes or no. Yeah. Like definitely, if you cannot decide yes or no, have to pray. You pray about it first. I would say pray about it first. Tell God, tell Jesus about your problem. If it's like a split-second decision, then you do micro prayers. What's the meaning of micro prayers? Micro prayers is like, um I would say the thought only. You can pray inside your thought or inside your heart. Just very very fast prayers to God or to Jesus. Prayers. One thing you guys have to know about prayers is that prayers, you don't doesn't have to be a very long sentence. It doesn't have to be very proper like that. We can pray all the time. We can pray when we are on the way to work. We can pray when we are talking to people. We can do everything while praying. Yeah. But then definitely, because I think we are used to it, used to the the proper prayers, like maybe sit down, quiet time, then lower your head to pray to God. Yeah. But yeah, because God is trying his best to help us to be to how to say give us more convenience into talking to him, because he wants to be involved in our lives. So why would God make it so complicated for us to talk to him, um, if he wants to get close to us? Like for example, if you like right now today, we can only call our parents, or if you're long distance, you can only call your parents through your phone. And if you don't have your phone with you, it's gonna be a hassle to call them. Yeah. But for God, it's like we are always connected. You don't have to call. You can just talk to God just like that. I can talk to God right now. Yeah. So always keep in mind in that, like whenever we are making a decision. So remember from this chapter, don't ask for signs. That's for the wicked. Remember that. Except the sign of Jonah. Actually don't really get this. So yeah, you guys can do your research about it. Yeah. So after that, the be careful. Uh, forgot to take the bread, you of little faith. Why are you talking among yourself about having no bread? And I don't understand that I was not talking to you about bread, but be on your guard against the yeast of the. I actually don't really be on your guard against the yeast of the. I actually don't really get this part now. The yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Jesus was talking about be careful of the Pharisees and Sadducees, but then the other guys, the other people, the disciples are. Oh, okay, I kind of get it now. So the disciples are worried about food, and then Jesus worried about food, and then Jesus says to them, "Why are you guys so have says to them, why are you guys so have so little faith? You didn't remember the story that I fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread? Yeah. So this is like, I think it applies to everything that we do as well. Like sometimes we do this thing, but then we worry about this, and then how's that? Oh, we've been warned to avoid this, but then we counter back with another question. So we're making things worse actually. So you have to put faith and put faith and focus on one thing at a time. Yeah. Yeah, because like if you for this example, the disciples forgot to bring the bread, to take the bread, but they were with Jesus. So and then Jesus can give 5,000 breads to everyone. So if you have someone like that already, then you don't have to worry. You can have faith. Yeah, that you're gonna be fed well. Yeah, it's okay to God doesn't want us to go hungry. God always finds His way to feed us. Yeah, He did mention in one of the chapters, one of the verses. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, like let's say like so we have to remember like in our lives, I mean, sometimes we got thrown into this situation. We we solve it first, or we focus this task at hand instead of finding other excuses or other problems to add in inside the basket. Yeah. Okay. So other than that, Peter declares that Jesus is the Messiah. Best are you? Who do you people say the Son of Man is? Yeah, so Peter declares, Messiah will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. With the keys of King Heaven, whatever you bind on earth, bound in heaven. Yeah, so this is a declaration of Jesus is the Messiah. And then you will be blessed. For this is not revealed to you by flesh and blood, by my Father. Yeah, so Jesus did tell us about like what to expect when we're going to heaven. Like so when we believe that Jesus is the Messiah, when we announce it, we will be given the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loose in heaven. So this is really like this is also one thing we have to keep in mind as well. The verse 19, yeah, the part where it says like whatever you bind on earth bound in heaven, or what, and whatever you lose on earth will be lost on earth will be lost in heaven. Like for where was it? Wait, bind on earth. Bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Need some time to think about this. I think it's talking about materialistic. Like, I would say the first one will be more towards character, like bind on earth. Bind on earth. We, I think we just go straight ahead. Have to really think this through first. From that time on, so Jesus predicts his death. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. Who wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? Some man is going to come in his Father's glory with his angels, and he will reward each person according to what they have done. Truly I tell you, some of them who are standing here will not taste death before see the Son of Man coming in his heaven. Okay, so this is a prediction. So Jesus is warning us about the what was it? How we should live how we the what should we do in this lifetime? Like before Jesus come back to earth again. So for whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. So this is talking about like we in my church, the church that I went to, sometimes they did mention like the pastor did mention like the end of the world is always a topic lah, huh? Yeah. So when you are being tempted by the antichrist, um, will you want to and they are like they wanted to kill you if you believe in Jesus. That's where the test of faith is. So if you lose your life, if you want to save your own life, if you want to save your own life, and then you if you want to save your own life, then you won't be able to be Jesus' disciples. And if you lose your life for Jesus, then you will receive it. You'll be one of his disciples, and you'll be blessed in heaven. And then your soul will be in heaven. So verse 96, what good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? Yeah. So what's better? What's better? Like, is it worth it to lose your soul for the things on earth, or for things on earth, or like, can anyone give in exchange, or what can anyone give in exchange for your soul? Yeah. So for the Son of Man is going to come in Father's glory with his angels, and he will reward each person according to what they have done. Yeah. So verse 27. Yeah. So the Son of Man is going to come in his Father's glory. So Jesus will reward us in when we're in heaven according to what we have done. So are we spiritually mature, or are we doing the commandments of Jesus? Yeah, so these are the things that we have to keep in mind all the time. Yeah, so truly I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Some are standing here will not taste death before they see the Son. Yeah, so some of us we might be able to see Jesus. We'll be able to see Jesus before we die. Yeah, before our deaths. Yeah. So yeah. Now that's it for chapter 16. Yeah. Really need some time to study this chapter. But the first part of it is quite self-explanatory. Like, the demand for a sign, not asking for a sign. Ask for help instead. Ask for help from our heavenly Father, and then our faith towards Jesus whenever in doubt, and then what's in heaven, and then what to expect in the end. Okay, yeah. So that's it so far for Matthew 16. It's gonna be a short episode today. Don't really yeah, it needs some time to decipher the chapter. But anyways, hope you guys learn at least something from this chapter. Quite a chill, short one. Yeah. So thanks for the one viewer. Well, thanks for the one view. Really appreciate it. And then I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Bye.